I heard just quickly on Julian Dicks' warm-up, wasn't it like he'd smoke a cigarette and just whack a football against the wall?
2 packets of crisp and a can of Coke.
Was that it?
For the game.
That's his pre-match.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just did what he felt like. Well, you've seen
Properly.
the way he played.
Yeah.
So it was obviously working for him.
Hello and welcome to the Bowling, welcome to Upton Park and welcome to another episode of Ironcast. The legendary Carlton Cole is with me today. And Coley, I have to say, first team players get me excited. Noughties footballers like yourself get me excited. But there's something about 90s footballers that really gets me going. And boy, have we got one for you today. 284 appearances for the Hammers between 1989 and 1998. One of the ultimate claret and blue cult heroes. It's the immaculate Ian Bishop. Welcome, Ian.
Thanks, mate. Good to see you both. Good to be in here as well, to be honest with you.
I know. It blew my mind. You said you'd only been in here once after a game.
Yeah. Never quite knew how safe it was, to be honest with you. And especially in the early days when we were going up and down, it wasn't right, was it?
What are the things you saw
in here?
Yeah,
it wasn't what you're seeing; it was the feel. I think you know what I mean. It was great. I mean, I came in here once after a win. You wouldn't come in after a defeat, would you? I think that's what it was. But we were always getting rushed off somewhere. You know, you wanted to get rid of your car to go out, so we really didn't hang around after the games, you know.
Yeah. And so have you been back? I know you came back to Upton Park when you played in Mark Noble's testimonial a few years ago, but have you been back much since to this specific area?
I tried to catch a few games, not in this area, but away games for me now it seems great being in the away end at these stadiums, you know. I did Seville first in the Europa League. I think we lost 1-0, but I had so much fun and banter with I was actually coaching in Alicante, which was a 6-hour train ride, and I was supposed to coach for 2 more days, but I had a Spanish assistant. I'd been there 3 weeks, and I had an assistant. I said to him, "Look, I'm going." Like, jumped on a train to Madrid, changed, and great. I mean, we lost the game, but it was still great.
So, Bish, last time I saw you, we were backstage at the fan zone in Prague. It was mere hours before the Conference League final, and it was the start of what was a big 48 hours for you because you were there watching West Ham Fiorentina, and then you were going to fly after the game for Istanbul for City in the Champions League final, and it all came off for you.
Yeah.
What a couple of days.
I know, it was unbelievable. And that wasn't it. My other teams, Bournemouth survived relegation. Carlisle got promoted through the playoffs. So it was all in that same time. Yeah. And it couldn't have felt any better. To be honest with you, like, I play golf every Sunday morning. I think, did we play on a Tuesday or a Wednesday in Prague? Was it a Tuesday?
I want to
or a
say Thursday.
Was it?
Wednesday.
Wednesday and Saturday it was, the 2 games. So I get up Sunday morning. My missus had said, because I was planning on going, and then I was thinking, it's going to be hectic. Like, you know, I hadn't sorted a hotel, a flight, a ticket for the games, nothing, right? I get up Sunday morning. My missus had said, there's a flight from Orlando. Now, I'm a 3-hour drive from Orlando, but my son lived there and he was down visiting, so he was going back that morning. I thought I could jump in the car with him, get to the airport, get the flight from Orlando. I mean, to Dubrovnik, I think that was the flight. And I didn't even know where that was, to be honest with you. But I know that's where it changed. But I wasn't going. I get up for the golf, and I'm late for the golf, and I think, I'm not going to make the golf. I went to my missus. That flight, what time was it? She went, I think it was about 5 o'clock. She went, what time's your son leaving? I said, he said he was going about 11. You know what? Booked the flight. And that was it. So I decided on a Sunday morning, phoned him. He hadn't left. I jumped in with him, got the flight, got to Prague, straight out in the town with all the fans.
That's unbelievable.
Straight away, bumped into TC, which is quite typical because he's hard to find.
Yeah, TC said that you were there doing the same thing as me because I was over there. Obviously, I was working on the TV. Then from there, I was going to the Champions League final as well, and he said you were doing the same thing. Yeah. So I was hoping to bump into you at some point. I didn't.
Yeah, it's a shame, mate. But I wasn't supposed to be working there. I was just going for the games.
Just going for the games.
And then TC or Gailey pulled out of one of the Q&As or something and said, "Why don't you go and fill in for me?"
Did he?
Make a couple of quid,
Gailey pulled out.
Yeah, but it was some week, like a lot of travelling, mate. When I wasn't in first class though.
Well, I don't want to put Coley in it, but I saw a few videos of you on the back of a yacht. I think it was in Istanbul, weren't you?
Let's not go there.
Missed the big time. Anyway, let's pull it right back to December 1989, I think it is.
Yeah, was it?
Swap deal for Mark Ward.
Yep.
Lou Macari brings you in. Just quick word on some of the signings that Lou Macari makes, because he's only here a short while, 7 months. He brings yourself in, Ludo, Trevor Morley, Martin Allen. The recruitment he
Jimmy
was able
Quinn,
to do.
Fozzie, Timmy. Was it not Timmy? No, Ludo.
Ludo's there,
Ludo.
yeah. Good, great recruitment in a short 7-month period.
Yeah. It was great when Ludo came, and we were seeing him backstage in Prague, didn't we? He was there. It was great when he came because I was staying in the Swallow Hotel. I actually I lived there for 10 months. Can you believe it?
In Waltham Abbey?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3
The
months.
Swallow Hotel?
Yeah.
The
It's
Marriott
supposed to be-
now. Marriott and New Money.
Okay, yeah. It was supposed to be 3 months while he found me somewhere to stay. He found me at a rental place or whatever till I bought. And he didn't find me a place, so I just stayed there. And when I was going home of a weekend, my mates were going and staying with their partners and just signing the tab. So my bar bill was
Charge
about
it to you.
25 grand or something.
Charge it
And
to
they
Bish.
stopped everybody else getting the bar bill after that.
Oh my gosh.
And Big Ludo, when he came, actually couldn't speak a word of English, could he? So I'm thinking, I've got to welcome him. We went and sat up at the bar, right? The night before his first day's training. We went and sat, we were there till 4 in the morning playing spoof. Because I couldn't speak to him, you know the game with the coins?
Yeah, of course.
Me and him, so if you lost, you'd have to do the drinking one. He was absolutely scalloped. I'd have seen him in the morning and training, throwing up in the toilet before.
What was it like back then? So Chadwell Heath, what was the banter like? What was everything? How was it down there?
You couldn't, you had to check everything. You're cutting the toes out your socks or, you know, the deep heat in your underpants. And we can imagine with monks.
Monks, yeah.
At that time, it was chaos.
Yeah.
Honest to God, it was great though.
Who was so Monks was the biggest clown? Would you say?
Well, there was a few, you know.
Biggest joker.
Yeah, well, early days because I've seen a lot of players come and go in me 9 years. So, you know, Gailey and Alvin. I had this thing with Alvin that it was like he looked after me because I was a Scouser probably, but it was this there was this rivalry, and I remember we played table tennis up in Stirling. And he thought he was the bee's knees at table tennis. And I was just defending, just getting it back, and he was making mistakes. And because all the lads was there, we was rotating, winner stayed on. And I beat him like for a fiver or whatever it was, but the winning was the thing. And then I stayed on for quite a bit. When he came back around to play again, I said, I'm not playing no more. Sodded off, he wanted to beat me up. He's going, no, you got to come back, And then we were out on a lad's day out, and we were playing pool. And I could play a bit of pool, and I didn't really tell him. I said, okay, we'll play for money, play for a five at a frame. I kicked his arse with the first one. Backside, sorry. And then I said, look, okay, the next game, if I win, but you've got 3 balls left, you win, okay? And then the next game, it was, if you got 4 balls left, then 5 balls left. So beat me that. Anyway, we're in the cab going to the nightclub, and he goes, do you play tennis? I went, mate, I said, I should have been a tennis pro. You don't want to play me at that. I'll just embarrass you again. He went, what about fighting? I went, driver.
What do you mean?
I went, driver, stop the car. We got out. We're rolling around on the floor. Policeman comes and picks the both of us up, doesn't he? And he goes, he drags us apart and he goes, hold on a minute. You're Alvin Martin. I said, yeah, we're just messing about, mate. Don't worry, we're just on our way to the nightclub.
Oh my God. That is something else. That is. That's
the 90s.
That's not normal. That's not normal. But you had a 90s podcast, didn't you?
Mainly because of Ian Bishop, because they're like one of the first footballers I ever interviewed. He told me all these stories.
Yeah.
And I was like, this era is unreal.
The better one was we were out in the afternoon and Alvin went, look, I'm not out all day. I'm taking the kids to the pictures. We're like, stop it. You know, we're in Hornchurch. And the pub, the windows folded and opened, right? And it was like a little step or whatever, so you could come in and out through them. And just standing there, I'm waiting. I've got my pool cue. I'm standing there. Alvin puts his empty pint pot down and comes and slaps me right on the back of the head and legs it out the window, right? He's gone home. He lives around the corner. I started running after him. And, you know, you got the beer belly with it's swilling all over the place. I couldn't even keep up with Alvin, and he couldn't run. So I've stopped. I thought, I'll walk. I'll break into his house. I know where he lives. You know, I'll just break in.
Break into his house? See, you
anyway.
I don't think about doing that nowadays.
I'll break into his house.
Anyway, he comes walking back around the corner with the 2 fellas with his hands up his back. And he's going, Bish, Bish, just tell him what it was, tell him what happened, tell him who I am. I went, never seen you before. Just carried on walking past him. They'd seen him jump out the window. They were in an unmarked car. They'd seen him jump out the window and leg it and thought he was up to something. This was our captain.
Imagine these stories. You're never going to get that these days, are you? Like, these boys don't know what they're missing.
Well, it's funny being around Bish because I think sometimes, maybe I've heard all the stories, but you've just told me a story before we started about Keith Rowland, who was a left back when he played for us. Seemed very meek, very timid.
We'd gone out, we weren't supposed to. Harry had said nobody drinking on a pre-season tour, but it was Rowley's birthday. And we've gone out, me and 5 Irish lads, Mickey Hughes, Ian Dowie, Stevie Lomas, and a young lad, Graham Filson. And we started on the tequilas for Rowley's birthday. Anyway, it's about 4 or 5 o'clock and we're all scalloped. And we're making our way back to the hotel, trying not to be seen. And we get up in the hotel and then Harry's there in the reception area, isn't he? And we're finding a way how to sneak round anyway. He sees a couple of us and I'm hiding behind this post, this pillar. And I'm standing there, I can hear him tearing into Rowley. Rowley had fallen over and split his chin. So he more or less had to say where he'd been and what he was doing. And Harry's gone, I can hear him saying, you got to go to the hospital. And I'm standing against this pillar like that, thinking he hasn't seen me yet, And then I look around like that and I look, there's a big mirror. And he's looking at me. He's gone, I can see you, Bish, come out. He went, I'll deal with you later. I'm taking him to the hospital. Rowley had stitches, about 9 stitches in his chin. It was like a little spider sticking off.
One of the things I think is peculiar to the 90s is staff versus players.
Yeah. Like
training matches. Did you have had this, Colin?
We used to do it a little bit, not as much as they did back then. But we done it when I was coming through the ranks at Chelsea. We used to do staff versus players. Yeah. And it was got a bit heated sometimes.
Well, it sounded like it
dangerous,
does, right?
Yeah.
So like Lou Macari, he's only here 7 months, but I think it's fair to say a bit of a divisive figure. Some players who played under him loved him, others less so. But the staff versus players training match sound like an opportunity to...
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're left out the team, you've got a gripe with the manager. It's a perfect time, isn't it? It's perfect, yeah. So, not that I did it myself, to be honest with you, but Dixie didn't need that. He would have kicked Lou if he was standing on the touchline, to be honest with you. He just didn't like him. He didn't.
So they didn't get along.
No, I found it because I'd only just arrived at the club, and I'm watching him putting the manager up in the air in the keeper ways, And I'm thinking, what's going on? But at the same time, that's the way Julian trained anyway. Yeah. He was like that with us. You knew he was flying in, so if you wanted to be fit for the Saturday, you'd sometimes have to step away. Yeah. Because you knew what he was like.
So Dixie trained how he played, so there was no contrast between the two.
Well, and one time Harry brought Joe Cole. He'd been talking about this little kid, and how good he was. He was about 12 or 13. Yeah. And I went, I'm going to bring him in training. Brought him in. Julian smashed him up in the air.
Wow.
He went, well, if he's training with us, you know what I mean? Harry, it's your fault.
How good was Joe Cole in that first session then?
Superb, mate. Yeah. He taught David Unsworth left, right and centre, Unsy couldn't stay with him. Yeah, left him on his backside a couple of times.
In your time at West Ham, there's some amazing academy talent coming through, like Frank Lampard Jr., Rio Ferdinand, Joe Cole, you mentioned.
Yeah, Michael Carrick.
Michael Carrick.
I bumped into Mike in Barbados, and sort of he was there with his wife and another friend and his wife, and I'm with 3 lads, and we're in this bar, and one of my mates has gone, "Where's Michael Carrick over there? Why don't you go and speak to him?" I went, "Well, I don't really know him, to be honest with you, but I'm not just going to go over and speak to somebody, you know what I mean?" So a little bit later, he comes over to me. I thought, I knew I'd win. What I didn't realise is my mate had gone over and told him I was there. Yeah. So anyway, I had a chat with him, and it was funny. Good lad. He'd had a few beers. We all had, but he said, you know what? He said, what I remember most about you. He said he went on loan to Swindon, and I was playing for Man City. I was about 34, 35. We beat them 6-0. He said, I just remember looking down and these Mizuno boots. He said, they were there and then they were gone. He said, I had nightmares over them. I found a picture of the boots and sent it to him on a text.
Oh, right. So we could have more nightmares, yeah?
But we stayed in touch since then.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And he's got a new job. I texted him, wish him luck and that. Yeah,
Great
he's
guy.
Lovely fella. Yeah.
Grounded.
Yeah, but the talent then was amazing, wasn't it?
Did you? I mean, they've all gone on to win leagues, Champions Leagues. Like, did you see? Did you see
easy.
that? Did you see? I mean, and you've gone on to witness the, City with the Champions League. But I mean, did you see for these young academy talents coming through? Did you think they would go to the very top of the game, as Harry Redknapp once famously
you
said?
seen it early doors. Well, they were what 17 when they were making their debuts and that. I mean, I was 18 at Everton, but I didn't think I was quite ready when it seemed like the game was bigger than me. It was Man United, and it was Robson, Wilkins, Muren, and Moses, their midfield. So I think at that time I didn't think I was quite ready. And then at 19 I ended up stepping down a division, going to Carlisle and playing 2 seasons in the second division with them. And really I think that was a grounding for me for the game itself. You know, it was tough.
Yeah. How was those 2 years at Carlisle? Like so it's a step down, but how did you take that?
It was a step up really, but obviously not as glamorous. But I'd go back to Everton, see my mates 2 years later, and I'd had like 60 odd games under me belt.
And they're
still in the resis, you know.
Yeah.
Which probably would have happened to me, because when you think about Trevor Stephen, Peter Reid, Paul Bracewell, Kevin Sheedy, that was their midfield four. Yeah. It was going to be tough to break into that. I had to make a difficult decision. I was leaving home for the first time. Yeah. I'd been with my girlfriend since I was 15, so I'd had 4 years with her, and I was going off. Carlisle seemed miles away at the time, and now when I travel all over America and fly back to here, it seems like nothing.
It's around the corner. But see, so I want to kind of emphasise on that, because obviously we've got youth players that watch this, and now obviously do the loans with Kev Keane. So now when you're trying to convince them, say, listen, you need to probably go a step down, and go through your boots a bit, go and get some games under your belt. Yeah. What kind of advice would you give them before they go out on loan?
There's no substitute for that experience, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know, there's a stigma as well that I don't want to move from a Premier League club to this club. But look, I wasn't stepping that far going into the first division, you know. Problem was, after them 2 seasons, I got double relegation and ended up in the 4th. So now,
really?
Now, I got them to the 4th, and then I sodded off to Bournemouth in the 2nd.
Oh, I said I've had enough of this.
I'm not a 4th, sorry lads, I'm not a 4th division footballer.
I tried.
Did my best for you. I can't do it on my own. Okay. No, it was a great lesson. I'd played in all 4 divisions by the time I was 21.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I don't know if that was a record at the time or what, but
when you went to Bournemouth, was that Harry Redknapp era? Bournemouth.
Yeah. Wow. He was brilliant then.
Yeah. So you knew him before you'd come to West Ham.
I hadn't had my season at Bournemouth, and it was just 1 season. He rescued me from the 4th division. So I got a phone call. I'd let my contract run out. I thought, I've got to try. Yeah. You know, I need to play higher up, really. And don't get me wrong, I hadn't played for the new Carlisle manager, and I loved him to death as well. I'd had an injury for about 4 months and couldn't figure out what it was. It was an ankle problem that nobody could find out what it was. And so I thought, I've got to come back maybe 6 games before the end. I wasn't right, but I thought I've got to get through it to be seen, to maybe get myself away, sort of thing, you know. And then Harry phones me out the blue. They just got promotion to the 2nd, which is the Championship, and I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know what division Bournemouth were in. And then I went down there, Mike. It was like south of France. I got Carlisle, Siberia, to the south of France.
Yeah.
All round there's pool. Yeah. All gorgeous.
You know? People stick around there. We were saying, Bish, actually, like your period with West Ham, you actually provide a great platform for where the club is now. Like when you look at the 80s, like, although we do well in 86, there's a long period of going up and down West Ham, like being the top flight, getting relegated back up. It's such a yo-yo club. And then when you come along, we get some stability that really sticks around, like long into, I'd say mainly into where we are today.
Well, I'd like to think that we did play in stabilising the club, you know, because it was a bit yo-yo, you know. But I'm thinking it was 2 promotions, 1 relegation, and it's amazing how similar they are, because I know nobody enjoys the relegation bit, but the fact that you've been in that same, it's the same as going for promotion. It's that intensity. And every game's important, if you know what I mean. And you go through it all together. They're still your mates, still your teammates. We're just in a different division. But it bonds you, you know. And I think it maybe made us what we became. And obviously Sky come in and the TV stuff and more money. and they go and buy more expensive players and that. You know, Paolo came to Canio after all that, didn't he? So, but I think the likes of Pozzi and Georgie Paris and Timmy Breaker, and I don't think there's enough credit thrown that way. It was a long time ago now anyway, isn't it? So, what
was the spine of the team when you came into it? What was the spine? Because we'll talk about the strength of a team. Yeah, it's always the spine.
Down the middle, yeah. Well, that's what I played, so. Yeah. And you. Yeah. So, it was Gailey and Alvin, I would say. Big Ludo was a great start anyway, you know, he was fantastic. Yeah. Alvin and Gailey, it was sort of me, Martin Allen at the time, who was mental. And then he brought Trev, hadn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Frankie Mack was still there. And then we sort of kept that when TC sort of came back and Monks came into the middle.
Yeah.
You know, we changed a few centre-halves at the time. Mark Reaper, I thought did really well for us, you know. Not the most gifted, but knew his job and did it well, you know. I think Fozzie came in for bits and bobs, big Colin Foster. And Ludo was a mainstay, wasn't he? He was there the whole time I was there, to be honest with you. So, but it was great, some great times. I do love it, and it's weird being here now and seeing and getting the feeling that the ground was just there.
Unbelievable.
Because I felt it was my home, you know. When I was out there, I felt safe. Because my life was in turmoil, sort of. That was my safe place. And people think, oh, you're going out in front of 25,000. Surely that's where you're most nervous. No, that's where I felt most at home, you know.
Do you know what's weird? I think people could tell you weren't nervous. It even struck me as a kid, like the way your hair was and like your playing style was so languid and loose and it was just flowing. And you were the first player I ever saw like spraying around long passes. And you always seemed to have so much time on the ball. It looked like you were never nervous. It looked like you were just like water just flowing through every situation.
But like I said, the thing is, at home, I never warmed up on the pitch. I was in there on my own in a room, in a warm room. And I didn't want to dilute the feeling of running out to a packed Upton Park and the noise when they see you. I didn't want to lose that. My ears are standing on my arms now, talking about it. So I would wait. And then obviously coming out the tunnel, you sense the buzz and the noise. And then, you know, we're supposed to walk or jog out or whatever. I'd end up sprinting because as soon as that noise hit you, I was home, you know, that was me. Yeah. And give me the first ball after kickoff.
Yeah.
Because I wanna do something right. I want to make 5 or 6 decent passes before I can then try something, you know. Yeah. I don't mind giving it away then because I've had 5 or 6 where I've kept possession. Yeah, yeah. And to be honest with you, Alvin used to tell me, I always wanted the ball, you know. And I think after my career finished, I'm thinking, I really could have got more goals than I did. But I didn't get that far forward because it was either Martin Allen or Monks who were probably a little bit more advanced or wanting to get in there. Somebody had to hold. So I sort of took responsibility to hold. But I also wanted to get the ball off Gailey and Alvin and build up from the back. So it's tough doing that bit and then getting yourself on the other end as well. Yeah. But that was the bit I liked. I wanted the ball more than anybody else. I wanted to have more touches than anybody else. And maybe I was probably a little bit unselfish in and around the box. Should have hit more shots. Because if you can pass a ball and put it on the money, you can hit a bigger goal than the man that you're aiming for, you know?
Yeah. You see, so when you're going out for a match, because what was your influence? Was you listening to music? What type of music was in the changing room? And what influenced your style of play as well? Because, you know, music and sport always collide.
It was whatever Dixie wanted.
Oh, was it?
And don't argue with him.
Was it?
Wow. Yeah,
was it not
Guns
what
N' Roses.
Gailey wanted? Was it
Guns N' Roses, no.
Okay.
No, I don't think Smokey Robinson and would have got you up for it.
Wasn't the right vibe?
Or the Bee Gees,
Gailey's
tapes.
So you was heavily influenced by, like, obviously Guns N' Roses and...
Yeah, well, that's the type of music that gets you up for it, isn't it? But he blasted it.
Oh,
Billy
really?
didn't like it, but even Bill didn't turn it off.
I heard just quickly on Julian Dicks' warm-up, wasn't it like he'd smoke a cigarette and just whack a football against the wall?
2 packets of crisp and a can of Coke.
Was that it?
For the game.
Kick a football against the wall.
Julian, yeah.
Wouldn't stretch or
2 packets of crisp and a can of Coke.
Yeah.
That's his pre-match.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just did what he felt like. He didn't even warm up before training. He'd just go out and smash balls in the goal against the wall. I didn't warm up at all, no.
Bad.
Yeah. No. I went on a tour of Upton Park when I was a kid, probably like 9 years old, and they took me in the dressing room. And on Alvin Martin's changing kit, he had a bar of fruit and nut. So they said Alvin would always have a fruit and nut,
chocolate.
like a half time. What would the nutritionist make of this setup?
Dixie wouldn't. If we were doing running, Dixie would just jog at the back. He'd go, I don't need this.
Really?
Yeah, they're all getting punished.
So basically, like my era, obviously, we're thinking someone like Dixie yourselves, like a model pros. Obviously, you have your fun, but like when it comes to the game, you put yourself.
Oh yeah, well, you've seen the way he played. So it was obviously working for him, you know.
Okay.
And we all had our little bits.
Yeah.
I mean, I shared the room with Dixie, and I used to take 4 cans of Guinness for myself on a Friday night.
Really?
Away from home, yeah. And I'd take him a half bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
And he would drink the whole bottle, still be the best player the next day. And I'd have me 4 cans of Guinness just to help me sleep. Yeah. You know?
Oh my gosh.
So I was nervous up until I put my shirt on.
Okay.
And then it all went, you know. I mean, one time we were playing Blackburn away. It was a little bit later after Dixie. I think it was with Mike Marsh. We'd just gone for dinner and we were walking out talking to Harry.
Yeah.
And what I used to do, especially if it was in the winter, I put my cans of Guinness on the window ledge outside my room.
To chill them.
On the ice and that, to get them cold. There was a quadrant at the hotel. I think it was the Haydock Thistle. And there was a quadrant in the middle. So we were walking out at dinner, me, Marshy and Harry. And I've looked out the window and across, you can see me cans of Guinness sitting on the window ledge there. And I'm having to deflect Harry out the way. Marshy, have a chat with him, quick, have a chat with him. So we started talking, I ran back to my room, took me Guinnesses off the window ledge.
Oh, I love this era.
Oh, what brilliant.
I've got to ask you, there's a few games, I mean, I could talk all day. There's a few games I want to talk about. The FA Cup semi-final, 1991, West Ham versus Nottingham Forest, and Tony Gales. Tony Gales is around here, head in his hands behind the camera. But it's the atmosphere that day, which I think it just showed the best of West Ham fans and what they can do.
Look, I get asked, what's the best game you've played in, or what's the game that you remember? And look, I scored in the Manchester Derby, the 5-1, the Main Road Massacre, which should be what you say. And I always say Villa Park, semi-final. The way the fans were bouncing for the whole time. And literally, we lose 4-0. So a game that you lose 4-0 shouldn't be the biggest game that you're playing, really. And they're carrying us off. Picked me up on the shoulders and that after the game.
There's on a less happy note, I want to ask you about the first game that ever made me cry as a young West Ham fan.
Sorry, mate, can I just butt in there? Because that Villa Park day, right? My youngest brother, who's passed away now, he was a little scallywag, he was. He came to Villa Park to watch the game, right? And clueless about everything he was. I only found out all this later on. He come to Villa Park, he asked the policeman on a horse. He went, do you know where the players' lounge is? And the policeman went, the playground's over there, sonny. He went, oh, sod off, McLeod. He didn't, he swore. But then he legged it. And I remember West Ham fans telling me there was this copper on a horse chasing this fella, right? He got caught, he got put in the cells with about 20 West Ham fans, he said.
Wow.
And he said, I was terrified, Scouser, with 20 West Ham fans. He said, I was terrified, I had to tell him I was your brother. And the cheeky sod, he went, one of them said, you can't be, you haven't got a big nose.
Oh, wow. That's bang out of order.
Yeah, bang out of order, So he didn't even see the game.
That's amazing. Fast forward a couple of years, I think it's the 1994 FA Cup quarter-final replay against Luton Town. This is the game that probably, in my whole life, bothers me the most. How did we lose to Luton?
Botsy standing on the ball. Remember that?
You score in that game. The Kenilworth Road, we lose 3-2. Hat-trick from Scott Oakes for Luton.
Scott Oakes, yeah.
And we would have gone on to play Chelsea in the semi-final at Wembley.
Well, I mean, we were a good cup team, weren't we? That game, I remember the quarters that year with the semi-finals. Everton at home, Chopper was on fire, wasn't he, Stuart Slater? He was on fire. That year for me, though, because I was captain, and every boy's dream about going to Wembley in the final, and it wasn't to be.
Oh, man.
Well, to be fair, Tottenham and Arsenal get to play on a carpet at Wembley, and we're playing on a sandpit at Villa Park. 2 footballing sides, us and Forest. It wasn't right, you know?
Yeah.
And then to get someone sent off in his defence, it was a shocking refereeing decision. Shocking.
Yeah.
And once we went a goal down, we kept it 0-0 till half time. Then once we went a goal down, it was games. We had to go. We had to go for it, you know. Yeah. But Luton as well. I remember Potty never put a foot wrong ever, did he? To be honest with you, Mr. Dependable.
Oh.
And then just
one of those.
Wasn't to be.
But you know something, I mean, I think a lot of West Ham's DNA these days, you helped create in the late 80s and 90s. And specifically one thing I think West Ham are good at is just turning up, maybe under the lights, and beating a team that we've got no right to beat. And you did this time and again in the 90s. I'm thinking about 1992 when Kenny Brown scores the goal that beats Man United, and Alex Ferguson calls that effort obscene.
But we got relegated, didn't we? So
yeah, and that was when we were on the way down. And then like in 94, 95, we beat Liverpool, Blackburn, and draw with United in the I think 3 final home games to stop them winning the league.
That was amazing. We celebrated like we'd won the league.
I mean, that game, stopping United winning the league, is really famous.
What did that mean to you?
Oh, everything. Even today, I hate them with a vengeance. all that's going on with them right now.
Oh, you're happy?
I'm in paradise. I'm in paradise.
Actually, Bish, there's one thing I want to ask you about that game, because we'd stayed up. We didn't need anything. Didn't need a result when we played Man United. The only effort was to stop them winning the league. And as from what I could work out, like Harry was like, wasn't too bothered about tactics. There hadn't been much training in that week.
No.
And it was just turned up on the day, and it was the most incredible performance.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ludo was out of this world as well, wasn't he? I think he stopped about 5 that should have gone in, to be honest with you. And then when I look back, the highlights only really show all his saves and all that. But when I watched the whole game, we were actually better than that, you know. And we never feared them. We never feared anyone. And there was extra incentive. And look what happened in the end. Gailey ends up getting a Premiership winners medal.
Yeah.
And gets me signed Alan Shearer shirt, signed by all the players.
Yeah.
Which will be worth a fortune.
I'm
sure he'll want his agent's fee.
You done Gailey a solid there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Still friends to
he
this
did
day.
send us champagne as well.
Oh, really? Did he do that?
Yeah.
That's thoughtful.
He's good like that.
You were involved in a few great escapes. Another one comes a couple of years later, 96-97 season. Obviously, we're right in relegation trouble. And then West Ham go out and sign John Hartson and Paul Kitson.
Yep.
You're in the squad. I mean, that seemed to just flip the club again on its head, those 2 signings in particular. We saw the results change, but did you feel a change straight away in the dressing room and on the training pitch?
Yeah, it was different, wasn't it? Was that after Dimitrescu and
I think it was the same season. It was later that same season.
Similar, But that was when the sort of bigger money came in as well. And we were still stuck on our contracts. And it was a little bit uncomfortable, to be honest with you, because somebody's getting 15 grand a week and the rest are getting 3 grand a week. And they more or less have to play them now. Yeah. Because they got to justify to the chairman why they're getting that much money. I mean, not that Kits and Johnny wouldn't have played, you know. They were fantastic together as well, weren't they?
Oh,
Big Johnny sort of got me in trouble one night. I'll tell you, he went, look, I've got this radio thing to do, and it was a Thursday night. Obviously, we're not allowed out. My missus was pregnant. She had about 3 weeks to go or something with our 3rd child. And Big Johnny's gone, we've got to go down Soho to do a radio show. I went, all right, mate, but nothing heavy, like, you know, nothing stupid. And we go. At 4 in the morning, we're getting a cab to come home. I get to bed. My missus is fuming at me. I forgot to tell her that we weren't training in the morning. We were meeting at the Swallow Hotel to get the bus, and we were going to train in Manchester when we got there to play Man City. I forgot to tell her. I woke up. It's 10:30. The bus is gone.
Oh no.
That feeling was horrendous, right?
I've been there.
My phone, have you, Mr. Team? My phone had been like ringing like mad. I just hadn't heard it. My missus didn't bother waking me up. She was angry with me, like, you know, she didn't realise what was going on. Anyway, so Johnny phones me, and I eventually speak to him. I go, what am I going to do, mate? I said, look, he said, we've already left and that. Harry's not on the bus, but Frank Lampard's fuming at you. He's been calling you all sorts. I went, right, put him on the phone. So Johnny walks down the bus. I hear him walking down the bus, and he's pissing himself laughing, like, you know. And he goes, Frank goes, where the effing hell are you? I went, hold on a minute, hold your horses, will you? I've been in the hospital all night. My missus went into labour. He went, I'm sorry, I didn't know. He's apologising to me. He's gone, oh, don't worry, make sure she's okay. And I said, no, I'm going to drive up. He went, no, you don't have to. I went, no, I will. So I drove up, ended up on the bench. And he was thanking me, thinking I was brilliant for driving up.
Yeah. So what was the end of that story?
Yeah, I've never told that story before, by the way.
So he obviously found out that she had dropped yet.
No, he didn't find out.
He didn't?
Didn't find out, no.
So what happened? She actually dropped. You didn't have to.
No, she didn't know. She had it like a couple of weeks later.
That is fine.
Oh, it's all right. So you decided to drag it out a little bit. Oh, it's brilliant.
We called him Frank.
For 2 weeks.
Called him Frank.
Oh, I love it.
Funny.
So, I mean, your career with West Ham is just absolutely brilliant. Of course, you leave in 1998 to go back to City.
Yeah.
And then you're involved in like another incredible story there.
Well, look, I had another year with a testimonial due, right? And I spoke to Harry about it. Harry went, look, don't have any functions throughout the year. I went, what? I said, that's going to be a hell of a lot of money. Sure, I'm supposed to be rewarded for 10 years service. And the functions are where you make it's all tax-free. And he went, no, I don't want you to do that. He went, the lads will be drunk all year. I said, lads are drunk all year anyway.
Makes no difference.
No. So he said, just have the game at the end of it. I said, look, H, that could be like 200 grand. I don't know, you know. If I asked you for 200 grand, you wouldn't give me it, would you? He went, no, of course I wouldn't. I went, why should I give it up, you know? And then I wouldn't have left for any other club, to be fair. I would have sat. I suffered that year. I was on the bench 23 times and only got on the field 3 times. And I wanted to play football. It wasn't about making money from my testimonial or whatever, you know. I wanted to play football. And then I think I was out in London with the lads on an afternoon, early evening one. And my missus phones up and says, you got to get home now, which she always said, and I never went. But this time I went because she went, look, I think Man City want to speak to you. I went, you're not lying to me, are you, just to get me home? She went, no, Mick Maguire's been on from the PFA, and he was Joe Royle's best mate from Oldham. And I ended up talking to Joe. Joe said, look, we've got a reserve game tomorrow, Port Vale. Why don't you drive up and we'll sort things out? But I'd made Harry promise me when he said about the not having the functions. I said, look, if I get myself a club, you promise you'll give me a free transfer and then I can make some money back. It's a pot of gold for when I finish, really. And he's gone, I'll see what I can do. And he ended up saying, yeah, okay, I'll give you the free. And shook his hand. And like I said, City phoned. I went up to see Joe on a Tuesday, never came back, which was the sad bit for me because I never got to say goodbye. You know, I never knew Chelsea, we won 2-1, I actually started. I never knew that was my last game.
Wow.
So I've gone out there with feeling freedom and not realising that I didn't have the chance to say goodbye. Which still sticks in me now, you know.
West Ham fans remember you and love you, surely. I mean, I've been around in your company.
I had some spells where I got a little bit of stick, you know, but came through it. And it's not easy there. You ask any other player from anywhere else, what's the most intimidating place you went? They'd say Upton Park. And I say that was for us as well. For the home players, it was the most intimidating as well. Yeah. It was tough at times, you know, and some people broke. Yeah, I didn't break. I came back. It was always about look. When the deal happened, and I'm thinking, I used to love the West Ham kit, you know, and I used to love the stanchions on the goal when they were really small, short.
Yeah,
remember the muddy pitch, the European nights and stuff like that. And I thought that's a club where my style of football will fit in, you know. It took me a little bit longer than Trev to settle in, to be honest with you, but I got there in the end, I think.
For you, what was the real high point of your West Ham career? Is there one moment you think back on when you reflect on your time?
Stop at Man United.
Is that still? I love that.
Some good days. Look, maybe I'm a little bit picky, but the season in '91 when I was captain, we got to the semis, we got promotion, albeit falling short at the last hurdle. We're still second in the league. We didn't win it. You know, we didn't even celebrate. We were promoted 5 games before the end. I didn't celebrate because it was about winning it. And then we messed it up, I think, with Notts County at home in the last game.
2-1 loss.
But Oldham came from 2-0 down to win 3-2 in the 96th minute as well. So it wasn't meant to be. But that same season, we got to the FA Cup, where your dreams are, really, you know. They're your dreams. That used to be a fantastic tournament. It was always special, you know. And then getting me England B cap at the same time, same season, I made the select team for the PFA. And, you know,
brilliant.
Good season.
Oh, So good.
Great players, good dressing room, great season.
So what are you doing now? Like, because are you into music? Or are you?
Well, I'll tell you what. A couple of months ago, I flew over to watch Iron Maiden at the London Stadium.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've been friends with the band.
I was supposed to be there. I didn't
since
make it,
1990. Yeah, I've been friends with them since then.
Yeah.
And Steve, the bass player who founded the band, it was their 50th year anniversary as well. And he was sort of wanting me to come, and I'm thinking, flight from Florida, and only stay a couple of days. But then I thought I can't miss it. And I seen Slav there as well, which was great.
Oh really?
Yeah, Slav turned up. Yeah, it was brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Pierce, he was there, Stuart Pierce. And then obviously all the time, because what I used to do was Iron Maiden, they used to fly me around. And Steve would always have a footy match before the concert. I'd go and play for them.
Oh, that's
even when I was contracted and that.
Brilliant.
Nobody knew. If I got injured, I was in.
So you was a
big
roadie?
Yeah, I was with the roadies, yeah. I was with the roadies, flying around, yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
I remember, he flew me to Portugal one time, and the lad who sort of put me in touch, the lad worked for Def Leppard first, because I played a couple of games for Def Leppard as well. And nobody knew. Nobody knew. We haven't touched on my time in America, where I was going to the games on my Harley.
So towards the end of your career, you went over. Was it Seattle you played?
No, Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had a tough choice of Yorkshire or Miami. I was chatting with Barnsley and Sheffield Wednesday. I spoke to both their managers, Nigel Spackman and Paul Jewell. And I'm thinking, step down again. Because I'd done what I'd done at Man City. I'd gone back there. They'd slipped into the third tier. We obviously got the 2 consecutive promotions back to the Premier League. So I'd done what I'd set out to do, really. Because when I went back there, I said, I've got some unfinished business. That's why I've come back. I didn't care what division they were in. It was Man City, So, and it worked out. Funny enough, I remember I did the City Square one day on the stage with the mic and that. And I spoke to some fan before that. And he said, oh, you was here in the bad times. I went, I didn't have any bad times. In the first 6 months, we had the Manchester Derby and the 5-1. And then I obviously came here. And then I went back, we got 2 promotions. I said, I didn't have any bad times, But once that had finished, I knew I was coming to the end. I'd never taken me coaching badges. Joe would have kept me there. I wanted to still play. I thought I could still play. Because that season at 35, and it slipped my mind, actually. I played 2 Manchester derbies 11 years apart.
Wow.
89 and 2000.
Wow.
But I forgot I'd played in the second one for some reason. Wow. I don't know why. Probably because we lost it 1-0. But and then I end up, when I'm finished there, like I said, speak to Barnes. Do I want to step back down to the Championship? Because Julie offered me 3 years. He offered me a 3-year contract at Sheffield Wednesday. Right. And I just thought, I'm based in Birkdale. I'm going to be driving. I don't want to move house. I don't want to move my kids again. Unless it was Miami, obviously. So I had that chance. Just out of the blue. I think it was Asa Harford, who was one of the coaches of Man City. He went, a friend of mine, Ray Hudson, who's manager of Miami Fusion, they were called, wants to know if you want to go to the States. I went, I'll have a chat. And then we talked about him before you know it.
That's when you got
over there. Yeah, over there. And
how was it there when you first got there? Like, how was it adapting?
Well, to be honest with you, the very first run I did, because we used to train down the beach some days as well.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That's unbelievable.
It was terrible because...
Train on the beach.
It was on a Thursday. We'd train at the beach, head tennis, that was it. Shirts off, head tennis on the beach. And there was an Irish pub called the Bryony right next to it.
Oh my gosh.
We'd end up in there, because we trained at a baseball stadium opposite Lockhart Stadium where we played. So we'd come across, train at the stadium. They'd lock the place up. We'd go train. We'd go in the Bryony in our kit. Sit there. And about 8 o'clock, get back to the stadium and have to kick the doors in and break the locks to get our clothes and our car keys and that. Every Friday morning, the kit man was there screwing another door on. It was hilarious. So, and again, some great lads. It was a mix of like vagabonds from everywhere.
Yeah.
We had Colombians, Hondurans, South Africans.
Made some great friends.
A couple of Americans, yeah. But we had a great camaraderie. And we were on fire. First 6 or 7 games, we were quite quiet, getting used to each other. And then we tortured everybody. Finished fifth. Actually, 9/11, you were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
We were flying there that morning. Yeah. We were flying to New York that morning. We arrived at the stadium. We were going to do a quick training session and then fly to New York. And we watched it happen live on the telly in the manager's office. So we never knew for years. We never knew whether our plane was targeted or it was always one of them. So the league stopped right then, and they said wherever you finish, that's where you are. We were top. We scored a record number of goals, record number of wins, record number of points, and yet we had to play in the playoffs. So, like 3 weeks later, we've now got to fly to Kansas, and the manager says to us, "I understand if you don't want to fly, right, because of what happened."
Yeah.
And I'm like, he said, especially used with kids, like, you know. I went, well, if I don't fly now, I'll never fly.
Yeah.
So let's go. And all the lads went, like, you know, and the airport was empty apart from soldiers and maybe 4 other people on our flight. We had to go to Kansas. Over there, for the money, like, they do 3 games in the playoffs. So your quarterfinals goes, if you win one, they win one, you'd have a third one, which you're always going to have, because we know they cheated us out of it. We had 6 playoff games in total, 6 red cards. Honestly, one of them was me, the very last one, in the third game of the semi-finals, and we lost 1-0 in the golden goal. But we flew to Kansas, and they said, "Oh, we've got to stop in Chicago." Well, what? Isn't there a direct flight? They went, "No, we can't put too much fuel on the plane. It'll be a bigger bomb."
Oh my God!
Cheers. And then we beat Kansas at home. We lost away, which we knew we were going to, and then we beat them in the third game at home again. We got home advantage because we finished higher. And then with San Jose was similar. We won at home. We lost away, but then we lost at home when I got sent off. And I swear I didn't touch him. A fella called Jeff Agers. I'm this far away from him on the video. Keepers threw it out, and I've read it, and I've nicked it with I say my studs. I was wearing moldies. So, and I was this far away from him. He jumps in the air, falls down.
Wow.
And then the ref sends me off.
Blimey.
Yeah, we ended up getting knocked out.
So you're stateside now. There's a few ex-Hammers stateside. Jack Collison's one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you met with Jack?
I noticed there's been a few go over, yeah.
John Spector's.
Yeah. Famously.
Yeah, it's good. And there's like, obviously, the supporters branches as well. And the English pub where we watch the games, they've now become the West Ham supporters group of Florida. So
and is that where you watch the games?
Yeah, it's nice to go in. The only thing is, the game's over there. The first one kicks off at 7:30 in the morning. So if you go in the pub at 7:30 in the morning, you're in a bit of a state by 2 in the afternoon. You know?
Where in Florida are you?
Delray Beach.
What part's that? Is that south of it?
It's southwest.
Southwest. Okay.
It's like smack in the middle of Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Lovely.
It's nice, really nice. I've been there 23 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good place to be.
And you got the tan to show for it as well.
You go down the turnpike.
Well, Bish, it's been such an honour talking to you. Fantastic memories, and you're so loved by West Ham fans. And
you know, people have probably been having a book with your picture in it, wanting it signed for years and years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're there and you can
up,
do it for them.
Yeah.
And the feeling's mutual about this club anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's I love it as much as anybody or anything.
Wicked.
man, brilliant stuff. Cheers, Bish. Cheers,
Pleasure.
Coley.
Thanks, fellas.
And thank you for listening. We'll be back very soon with a brand new Ironcast. Until then, come on, you Irons.